Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to give you your March 2016 general readings. My apologies for the earth signs for getting your videos out a little bit late. I've been recovering from a bad bout of the flu and it slowed me down just a little bit. So thank you for your patience. These are general readings, so as I always say, if they don't apply or resonate with you at all, if you don't relate to them, you should also always check your rising and your moon sign as well, because that may be spot on for some months and not for others, depending on what's in your natal chart and what's going on astrologically. I am continuing to use the Gilded Tarot deck, drawing 8 cards for the month, 2 cards for each week, with an additional card as your overall theme and general feeling of the month. A special thank you to those of you who are reaching out to me for personal one-on-one readings. It is always an honor and a pleasure, and thank you so much for allowing me to do that for you. And thank you to those of you who continue to watch and listen and subscribe to my channel. You are the reason I am here, and I do so much appreciate hearing your feedback, both on the channel itself and through email, so keep those up. I enjoy it very much, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you for all of your support. And for those of you who are interested in a personal one-on-one reading, you can click on the About sign on my channel's homepage, and that will give you a little more detail and information on myself, the services I offer, and my contact information. And you can email me directly at maggie1maguire@gmail.com. I do readings full-time, and my turnaround time is about 24 to 48 hours, so I'm able to work pretty easily with whatever your schedule is. So let's get right into this reading. This is for Capricorn for March 2016. Capricorn, March 2016. What does March hold for the earth sign of Capricorn? March 2016. Capricorn, Capricorn. March 2016. Okay, we begin with the Seven of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. Next to that, we have the Devil card accompanied by the Chariot, the Two of Wands, followed by the Ace of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles, followed by the Three of Wands. And as your crowning card, the card from the bottom of the deck is the Nine of Pentacles. So let's take a look, Capricorn. Okay. We begin with the Seven of Pentacles. Now, Pentacles, the element is that of earth, so Pentacles is a suit that points towards things in our earthly, tangible environment. Things like money, finances, resources, job, assets, property, things we can see and touch and feel. The Seven of Pentacles, and the Seven of Pentacles is also accompanied by the Seven of Swords. So, and sevens can point towards conflict and instability as well. So it looks like, Capricorn, you're entering the month of March, I think, actually looking at something and in kind of a reflective assessment kind of arena about something going on in your life, an area of your life that looks like it has a fair amount of imbalance in it. The Seven of Pentacles is a card about reflection and assessment. You can see on this card that it is harvest time. This woman has planted her seeds. She's fed and watered it. It's grown into a tree, and the fruit is grown, and it's ready to be picked. There's a ladder leaning up next to the tree, ready to climb. And she has a basket in which to put the pentacles as she picks them. But for the time being, the basket is empty. She has not yet begun to pick because she's considering whether or not the yield on this harvest is what she expected it to be. This is a card of it points towards being at a place, Capricorn, going into March 2016, where you're kind of looking at a situation, you're weighing it out, and you're wondering if, it has a fair yield to it, but it may not be exactly what you anticipated or as much as you wanted. This is a card that asks the question, is what you're putting into it, is what you have put into it and invested in something so far, been worth it, and you're not sure. You're kind of in that place where you're not sure if it's worth going in and picking, if you want to continue it. You're just kind of in that reflective assessment kind of mode. um, is this worth continuing whatever I've been investing and putting into it? You are getting something out of it, but it's a question of whether it's enough for you or not. Now, the Seven of Pentacles is accompanied by the Seven of Swords. So swords, the element is that of air, and swords is a suit that points towards our words and thoughts, our ideas primarily, how we look at things, our perspective, our mindset. It's all about what goes on up here. It's a very mental and cerebral suit. And the Seven of Swords, I have often heard referred to as the thief card. It can have a bit of a slippery, sneaky feel around it. You can see on this card that this man, the implication being he has broken into this person's house in broad daylight and taken a bunch of swords, and he's sneaking off with them with a sneaky, smirky kind of look on his face as if to say, look what I'm getting away with, because he's doing it in broad daylight. He hasn't managed to take everything, but he's managed to take a lot. This card can also, depending on the spread itself, point towards needing to be a little clever about how you go about dealing with something, a little clever in strategizing about something. But it can also point towards somebody actually stealing from you in a very physical, tangible way, money, property, some kind of financial thing. It can represent somebody just coming and taking something from you, being at a place where you feel like you're being depleted, like somebody's taking something from you. And I think Capricorn, paired with the Seven of Pentacles, it feels like you've been investing in something. And again, whether it is an actual physical, tangible thing like a job. Perhaps for some of you, this may resonate as, you've been working at a job, you're putting in a lot of time and effort, and you still feel like you're not getting what you're worth. You're not getting what you've put into it. You're not getting as much as you anticipated putting into it, and you just feel like you're being cheated somehow. For others of you, I mean, this could resonate as a relationship issue too. You've just been investing a lot of yourself in this relationship, and while you are getting something back, it doesn't feel like you're getting enough back. You're still kind of at the point where you're like, I don't know if I want to continue investing this. I'm not sure if it's really paying off for me, because there's some sense of feeling cheated, of feeling like either depleted or exploited, that somebody's taking advantage of you in some way. They're taking something from you. If it's not tangible, actionable money or property, then it's in terms of your time, your energy, your labor, your love, that sort of thing. So again, Capricorn, it looks like you're entering the month of March 2016, kind of considering in a consideration mode and looking at a situation, a job or a relationship, something of that sort, where you're wondering if you should continue investing in it, because even though you're getting something back, you're either not getting back what you're worth, or you feel like you're being taken from somehow, taken advantage of, cheated in some way. Now, right next to that, we have two major arcana cards. We have the Devil and the Chariot card. So a pretty profound and significant message and energies, because they are major arcana cards, and I like to call them the fingers of the divine, because those are the energies they do represent. And this looks to be a pretty significant message. Now, the Devil card speaks primarily of imbalance. This can also be a card that points towards addiction, conventional addictions like drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling, shopping, spending, that sort of thing. It can also represent unhealthy relationships, relationships that have too much power and control issues, too much neediness or obsessiveness. This could point to, a job too that you're completely obsessed, focused on. You're a workaholic. This situation, it could play out in a variety of different ways depending on which Capricorn is watching it and what you have in your own unique natal chart. But at the bottom, at the foundation definition of the Devil card is imbalance, some kind of significant, profound imbalance in your life. Some area of your life is really out of whack. And again, I feel like you already know this, Capricorn, that you're coming into March 2016 in full knowledge of this area of imbalance. Maybe something's happened, or you're just kind of in that place where you're looking and wondering whether or not it's worth continuing, because it feels like something you're enslaved to, something you're held hostage to. For some of you, this is going to represent perhaps an actual addiction, and it's draining you, it's depleting you. For some of you, this is going to represent someone close to you having this imbalance, this addiction problem, or maybe perhaps mental imbalance is something. You're putting so much into it, putting so much into trying to help them, and there's not as much improvement as you would like to see. and it still feels like the scales are really out of whack. Now, the Devil card is accompanied by the Chariot card, another major arcana card. And the Chariot card is a card about, it can represent success, and it represents movement and motion, very swift, very powerful motion. It can also represent the pulling together of a variety of different forces and harnessing them and making them work together in perfect unison and perfect harmony in which to propel something forward. And I really feel, Capricorn, and again, this can play out a few different ways. I really feel like the advice is that you need to make a decision about what to do with this situation, this relationship, this person, whatever the situation is that I think it's taking from you, it's depleting you, it's draining you somehow. It's creating and has created, it's caused uh, a huge imbalance in your life. It feels very unhealthy. And I feel like the Chariot card is actually a very strong piece of advice that you need to move on this thing. You need to be very decisive, make a decision, and take action on it very swiftly and in a very decisive manner. And for some of you, this is going to represent having to kind of pull together a variety of things in which to address the situation or move forward and out of this situation because, again, it just feels like you're stuck in something, Virgo. For some of you, it's going to be a job where you're not being paid enough, you're being overworked and underpaid. For some of you, this is going to be a relationship with someone who's either causing an imbalance in your life or they themselves have a huge imbalance in your life, but you're so tangled up in it that it's just draining you. It's taking away from you. It's leaving you, um, again, feeling drained and taken from, and you're not. It's like you're giving and giving and giving, but not getting enough back. It looks like you're getting something back, but it's just not enough. And I mean, for a smaller portion of you, this could represent somebody actually stealing something tangible from you. Um, but yeah, it feels like the Chariot card is saying with a very loud, strong message that now is the time to make a decision about something. Be very decisive about it and act on it and do it now. And that's what's going to actually carry you through and out of this situation successfully. Now, at or around the third week of March 2016, Capricorn, we have the Two of Wands paired with the Ace of Swords. And again, I feel like this is straight up advice. The Two of Wands, the element is that of air and fire, and that's a very dynamic combination. And Wands is a suit that points towards, especially following this Chariot card message, Wands is a suit that points towards action, change, movement, action, power. The Two of Wands is about reaching a crossroads where you need to make a decision on which path you need to go in order to keep yourself moving forward. Again, like with that Chariot card. And again, like the beginning of the month where you're considering, you're in reflection and assessment mode. What do I need to do? The Chariot card is saying, the Devil card is saying, something's really out of balance. And the Chariot card is saying you need to move on this. You need to be decisive, take action on it. And that's what's going to successfully carry you out of this. Because you're at a crossroads right now where it's time to make a choice. You need to choose one path or the other. And sometimes this card can imply that the path you've walked on so far has been successful or moderately successful, and the path that you're choosing is one of expansion and growth. You're continuing to move along, and you want to make sure to choose the path that's going to propel you in the direction of the most expansion and the most growth, whatever's going to be the best path for you. But however this resonates for you, you're at a place in March 2016, Capricorn, where you need to make a decision on which path you need to choose. And again, I feel like now is the time to do it. You need to make a decision. You need to act and move now. And the advice on which path to choose comes from the Ace of Swords, which accompanies that Two of Wands. Swords, again, being that suit about our minds, how we look at things, our clarity. And aces represent new beginnings, the seeds of new beginnings, the potential and promise of things to come. And the Ace of Swords, out of all four of the aces, I see as coming in the fastest and cutting the cleanest. This is the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords would come in and would cut away any extraneous stuff going on in our heads, because this is a very mental, cerebral suit. This is about coming in and being, this is about clarity. It's about not looking at a situation, whatever the situation is. The Ace of Swords is saying, do not look at this situation for what you want it to be or what you think it might be or what potential it might have. The Ace of Swords comes in and it cuts away all illusion, all fantasy, any, BS, any of that extraneous stuff covering it up. The Ace of Swords, I believe, very strong advice to say that what's going to help you make a choice on this situation is looking at this thing with clarity of thought, absolute clarity. Cut away, put aside any of what you want it to be, what you wish it would be, what you think it can be, and look at it for what it actually is. I think what's going to help you in choosing, what's going to make the difference in which path that you choose, Capricorn, is being very clear. Do not come from a place of emotion and illusion and what you want and what you wish. The Ace of Swords is saying, is coming in quite successfully, cutting away all of that to reveal the truth of the situation, which I think is going to make the path in front of you easier to choose. Now, at or towards the end of the month, we have the Queen of Pentacles, followed by the Three of Wands. So the Queen of Pentacles is, queens like kings have reached the mastery of their suit, and this individual would have somebody who's reached the mastery of her suit of Pentacles, which means her earthly environment. The personality of the Queen of Pentacles would be somebody who's probably pretty financially comfortable or is comfortable in their life, somebody who probably tends to be pretty good with money or finances, somebody very reliable, somebody very grounded, somebody very rooted. This is somebody who this is a great person to have your back and a good person to this is a good person to have as a support system and a good person to seek advice from too. And but you know, this is an earth sign too, and it could represent an actual, you know, court cards do sometimes and often represent actual other individuals in our lives, if not ourselves. But this is and earth signs would be, of course, Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. So, but I actually feel like this is more resonating as you, Capricorn. And I think for some of you, this may resonate as somebody else in your sphere or coming into your sphere who has a significant and major effect in this situation at or towards the end of March 2016. But for others of you, this is going to resonate as you. Being able to, I think, after going through this reflection period, kind of seeing the imbalance, being very decisive about taking action. And sometimes that can be a challenge for you earth signs because you're very contemplative, very thoughtful individuals. You like to think about things and be very grounded and practical about how you approach things. And sometimes moving quickly with speed is not always your best suit. But that is the advice here. And the advice in how to choose this path, again, is to think very clearly and very logically about this thing. Which is what is going to bring you back to this place of actually being able to. The Queen of Pentacles again is somebody who has learned to maneuver the things in her physical world to her benefit and to the benefit of her loved ones as well. It's not actually I'm not actually sensing a huge clarity on how this card is actually resonating. I think for some of you, this is just going to be after going through, this is going to resonate as you, Capricorn, after going through this entire process and making up your mind on which path you want to walk and returning back and retaining that sense of, um, of being very reality based and very practical and grounded, which is your nature to be anyway, and not allowing this situation, this person, this relationship to continue taking from you and leaving you exploited because it is not in your nature to stay in a relationship like that. You're much too grounded and too rooted for that sort of thing to continue for too long. Now, the Queen of Pentacles is accompanied by the Three of Wands, which even though Wands is a very action-oriented suit, of all the cards in the suit of Wands, the Three of Wands is the most passive card. It's a card more about patience, gestation, and waiting. You can see that this man has planted two of the wands in the ground behind him, and he's holding on to the third one. And he's watching this ship. It's either going out or coming in, and it really depends on the read and what you get off this card to kind of tell which one it is. But it's really a card that points to having done everything that you can in a situation, having invested everything that you can invested, putting everything into something that you can, and you're waiting to kind of see how it plays out. So I feel like at or towards the end of March 2016, Capricorn, I feel again like I think the stronger, what I'm feeling most strongly, what I'm sensing most strongly is after going through this process, this reflection assessment process, and taking a really good look at the imbalance in your life, this situation, this relationship, whatever it is for you, the advice is to make a decision and act on it. And you need to choose. There might be two completely different paths in front of you, clear ones to choose from. But it's saying use your clarity, use insight, be very clear and come from a place of thought and logic in dealing with the situation and in figuring out which way you want to go on this. And that's when it's what's going to lead you through and away from it. Um, and at the end of the month, to just, I almost feel like that Queen of Pentacles is you, Capricorn, and to just to sit in the best qualities of who you are in terms of this situation. Be that reality focused, grounded, solid, rooted individual that you are. You're at the top of the game. It's a queen. It's not a page or a knight. And it says that you've done everything that you can in this situation. After you make this decision and after you put yourself, whether it's to break from this person, this situation, this job, this relationship, whatever it is, to stand in that, to stay grounded and stable and patient in that, and just kind of wait it out because it looks like that's what's going to be required of you. And to remember, above all, the message I'm getting is to remember who you are and to not allow this situation, this relationship, to continue taking from you, because your crowning card is the Nine of Pentacles, which is all about self-empowerment, independence, self-sufficiency. I don't know if this situation or person relationship that's been taken from you has left you feeling in a place where you're dependent on them, or the imbalance that the Devil card speaks of as an unhealthy level of thinking that you have to be chained to this situation as this person, that you're either dependent on them or they're dependent on you, and you're kind of enslaved to that. But the Nine of Pentacles is your crowning card, asks you to remember who you are. The Nine of Pentacles points towards a person who is enjoying all the things in her earthly, tangible environment, but they're not things that have been given to her. Everything that she's enjoying, she has worked for and she has earned herself with her own two hands, by her own hard work, her own talents, her own labor. This is a card about independence, about self-sufficiency and empowerment. And I think as your crowning overall energy for the month, Capricorn, and we'll see what the mid-month readings show. It looks like this is what you need to keep in mind as you're walking through this situation and through this decision-making process and trying to figure out how to get yourself, remove this area of profound imbalance in your life, and just to remember who you are, this self-empowered person, and remember how hard you've worked to get to where you're at. The Nine of Pentacles, does not point towards an individual who would allow this situation or this relationship to continue taking and depleting from you. You need to, again, I don't know why, but this message is for somebody. They need to hear it. Remember who you are. Remember those wonderful earth element qualities that you possess. Stay rooted, stay grounded, stay level. Make your decision and then wait on that decision. It looks like that's clarity is going to bring you the right path to walk. And at the end of the day, you will have done everything that you can in this situation. And you're just going to kind of wait and see how it plays out. But guard yourself. Be careful. Remember who you are. And don't allow anyone to take away that sense of self-empowerment and independence and self-sufficiency. So Capricorn, I hope you've enjoyed this reading. I hope it has resonated with you, or at least giving you a little bit of food for thought and some clarity and insight on this situation. I think you're well able to deal with this. Earth signs have very wonderful, very practical people, and they usually approach the situations and relationships in their lives with the best of those qualities. So it'll be interesting to see what the mid-month readings show for you, Capricorn. Again, for those of you who are interested in a personal reading with me, you can click on the About sign on my channel's homepage, and you can email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. And I will see you in a week and a half or so for the mid-month readings. And until then, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Thanks for watching, Capricorn, and I'll see you soon. Bye.